Opening this meeting up with a quick word of prayer. Father, thank you for this time we'll get together and handle the business of the city of Minden. We thank you for these opportunities that you've given us to serve at this time, Lord. We don't take it lightly, and we ask you, Father, for your wisdom and guidance in every decision that we make. Guide this meeting. It's in your name, Jesus, we pray. Amen. Amen. So something new, I'll call the meeting to order. Something new that I'd ask for on our agenda tonight. I've got Ashley here who's going to give us a quick rundown of our new Minden administrative court. As y'all know, she's the docket clerk appointed by y'all for that court, and they had their first meeting in April. And I asked her, I thought it would be good for y'all to kind of know how that's going, and I thought y'all would be interested in that. So Ashley?
Okay, so we held our very first Minden Administrative Court on April 20th. We're going to do them on the third Monday of every month if we have cases at 1:30 in the afternoon in the courtroom and council chambers. On the very first docket, we had 7 properties that we heard. 6 of the property owners were present. 1 of them did not come because he actually never received the notice in the first place. Today, I mailed another notice for him to appear at the June meeting, so he has ample time to receive that notice. The very first case that we heard was actually dismissed because the property owner did clean up the property in entirety before court. And so the other 4 that were left, or 5, I'm sorry, they cleaned up their properties a little bit, but didn't fully clean them up to the standards that we wanted them cleaned up to. And so they were fined with a fine suspended until the May court date. So they have all been ordered to come back on May 18th and present in court. And if the property has been cleaned up by 8 a.m. on May 18th, their fines will go away. If they have not cleaned up the property to the judge's standards by 8 a.m. on May 18th, they will be assessed that fine. So that's kind of how court works. Because these people had taken the opportunity to clean up the properties a little bit, that's why we just asked them to come back, because we're not trying to really make money off of this. We're just trying to have people clean up their yards, make them look nice, so that the neighborhoods will stay, junk-free, and they'll have their grass trimmed, they'll have, not a ton of non-working vehicles in their yards. And so only 1 of them didn't clean up at all. And so that one was also asked to come back in May. We had the fines that we imposed were between $50 and $400. But again, if they come back on May 18th and everything's clean, which we discussed what they need to do when we were in court, those fines will go away and they won't have to pay anything. So.
Was that informative for y'all? I thought it would be good. I was very curious how the new court worked. That was their first month meeting. But again, I like what Ashley said. The objective is just to get things cleaned up, make our city look better, try to raise pride across the city. Mm-hmm. And so it sounds like they're doing a good job. Any questions?
I think it'd just be helpful to know which properties they were.
Oh yeah,
so that we can.
So we had. I actually don't have the addresses on here, but if I remember correctly, it was 507 Chandler Street, which is owned by JMSSC Rentals. We had, I believe the address is 315 Summit Street, which is, the man actually lives in Florida, and so he didn't receive the notice in the mail. That's the one who I just sent today, a new notice to appear at the June court. We had one on Claiborne. I believe it was 907 Claiborne. That's Robert C. Brinkman. We had 136 Joanne Lane. That's the Macy Davis Settlement Security Trust. We had Willie J. Murray at I believe, 508 Constable Street, in the 500 block of Constable Street. We also had Curtis Hester at 504 Constable Street. And then we have CN Partners, which is Chateau Normandy at 1401 Louisville. So,
I have a question. What district was the first two in? You know the district?
C, I think.
the first one, I believe, would be in District D,
Okay.
and the second one would be in District E.
Okay. One other question. I know, and I think it's a great idea, I know you all had like the love for boots recently. And did you all address multiple areas within Minden, or what was the concentration? And is it planned to do it again?
So that's a statewide initiative
Okay.
that's kind of put together by the Lieutenant Governor's Office.
Great.
And so I didn't run Love the Boot in Minden, but I believe the way it worked is we posted about it and asked people to sign up
Okay.
to do cleanup parties.
Okay.
So I'm not sure what was cleaned up, but you're actually supposed to submit your data to Love the Boot once you finish, and so they should have on their website at some point in the near future stats on what was cleaned up, how much litter was collected, and things like that.
Okay.
The volunteers choose where they want to go.
Oh, really? Okay. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. So
Okay.
that's how that
All right.
works.
Thanks for the information.
Does the council have any further questions for Ashley on this subject?
Is there a way for us to get like a report of what's gonna be on, like what properties are gonna be,
Yeah.
talked about at the meetings, so that we can know if we need to be there or
Yeah.
not? Like before, like maybe the Friday before, or the Thursday before.
I can, so as soon as I send out my notice, regardless of if they clean up the property, after my notice has been sent out, you've already been summoned to come to court. It doesn't matter what point, because Brent sends a letter and he gives them 10 days from the date of that letter to clean up the property. And if they have not contacted him and proven that they've cleaned up the property within that 10-day time frame, that's when I'll send my notice to appear. And at that point, regardless of if they clean up the property on that very day, they are ordered to appear to court. And if they've cleaned it up, we can dismiss it from there, but they do have to appear as soon as my notices go out. And I'm sending them out, I believe, 25 days in advance, so I can just send y'all an email or text message and let you know which properties and the names of the property owners are on the docket.
That'd be great.
Any more questions?
Did the committee meet about these?
We didn't have it established yet.
We're waiting on names for the committee,
Okay.
which I will not be in control of, by the way. But
We still have 2 more names I'm waiting on.
I'm just trying to figure out how it works. So when there's like junk or things like that, and it's a rental property,
it goes to the owner.
the property owner,
Well,
not the tenant.
the tenant also receives the notice, but
Okay.
the tenant, him or herself, is not technically ordered to appear.
Okay,
It would be in their best interest to appear because, I'm assuming if I'm a landlord and I get a summons to come to court because my tenant has jumped up the yard, I'm going to pass along any fees or any fines that I'm assessed to my tenant, is how I would think that would work. So, for instance, for the Macy Davis Settlement Security Trust at 136 Joanne Lane, that is a trust that is being handled by a company in in Boston, Massachusetts. And so the tenant and the trust both received the notice, but the notice just doesn't say the tenant's name. She did appear on behalf of the trust. So that was good because if nobody sends a representative, you're automatically at fault for what you're being, for what we are saying that you're at fault at. There's no way to, work around you not appearing to court. So they do receive a copy of it, but some of these were rental properties where no one's currently living. And so, like the one in Florida, there's nobody living in 315 Summit Street. And so he got he didn't get the notice. The notice got lost in the mail, and then mine was not delivered. So we're trying again for June, and hopefully we send it early enough this time that it'll get there in time for him to appear in June.
Any more questions from the council for Ashley on this process?
When sending out the letters, if it is on the property that is occupied, do you send out 2 letters, or is it just still just the one to the property owner?
Yeah, so I send it certified mail to, if it's a landlord and a tenant, I send it certified mail to both of them, but they get the same notice, which says the owner's name. So like for instance, one of these on Constable Street, he and his wife own 50-50 of the property, so they both got a notice to the same address, you know, same last name and everything, but they both got a certified mail notice sent to them to ensure that, you know, if they're 50-50 owners, they both need to know that they're being summoned to court. Even though the notice itself only said the husband's name, because we go off of the Webster Parish Tax Assessor's records, and when it's 50-50, they just choose one of the names to put as the owner with the address. So even if it's 50% owned by this person and 50% owned by that person.
And how long has this procedure been in place, you said?
We had our first court on April 20th. I think we established 2 different ordinances, or maybe we just updated the ordinance. I think the first one was passed in February of this year. They take 30 days to take effect, so. Anything else?
Y'all good? All right, Ashley, thank you very much. On my list of things to go over, something, why don't y'all take one of these, and take one of these and pass it around. Y'all may know about this. It's one of these little things that we need to discuss. This is something I'd like to bring to y'all in June. I've had Neil look into it. Y'all may or may not have been reached out to by the Minden High School. That building is one of the huts at the fairgrounds, and y'all know that those huts they're not being maintained at all, and it's some of them are more poorly maintained than others. And so the school system, the Webster Parish School Board, has redone the softball fields. We did the property transfer with them, I believe that was in 2024, for Griffith and the water plant. Y'all remember that deal? Well, this hut is sitting right on the corner of what they want to redo for the baseball fields. And so they wanted to know what we would do about it. It is our property. It's one of those deals. There's a lot of weird stuff at the fairgrounds that is very unclear. Like the Lions Club uses one of our buildings. Whose building is it? I don't know. It's kind of like over at Victory Park, the Girl Scouts use that building. Now they no longer use it. Whose building is it? I don't know. The bottom line is, if we own the property, it's our building. And that's just how it works. So I've had Neil just double, triple check everything. What I would like to see us do after visiting with him is what Neil referred to as an intergovernmental transfer, where we just give it to the school board and let them do whatever they want to with it. It's like, you see how tiny the building is. It's right on the corner of where they want to build their ball field and, you know, expand that area. They want to make the facility look nice. I think it's to our benefit that the facility look nice. And so y'all think about it, or whatever you need to do. The back end of the building is falling in, so it is a bit of a safety hazard. And you know who's 100% liable for that is us, if something did go wrong with it. And it's not going to get better unless somebody spends a lot of money on it. So what I would like to do in June, unless y'all just don't want to do it, is, you know, come to y'all and ask to get approval. Neil's drawing up the paperwork right now to, basically donate that parcel to the school board. Any questions about it or thoughts about it? Kinda wish we would've just had it in the deal to begin with. I really don't remember how it got left off. But it's basically just carved right out of the deal that we did with them for the water plant.
It's outside of the baseball field right now, right?
Yes, it's right on the corner, right behind the bathrooms that we did give them. Just something to think about. I don't need to know anything today. I mean, I don't feel like it's benefiting us any. So I think they would put better use to it than us. But maybe I'll have an idea that I hadn't thought about.
Was this the one Victory's church used to use that?
Yes, yes, and I talked to Reverend Whitaker, and, he's fairly indifferent to it too. Any more questions on that subject? Something that I'm not gonna ask y'all for in June, but something I would like to put on y'all's radar. The roof is gone on the Boys and Girls Club. I really would like to see that eyesore gone. Just putting that out there. I mean, I think to put a new roof on it would be probably $250,000. I don't see a world where we want to spend that kind of money there. The school board, I kind of mentioned it to Johnny Rowland one time, the school board superintendent. He acted like he would be interested in it, and I told him we'd give it to him today, kind of jokingly. I just hate to see them spend, I don't know how much they spend on the softball fields, and I don't know how much they're gonna spend on the baseball fields, but that's right in the middle in between them. And when you drive up there, the one thing I see is a beautiful softball field. We're gonna see a beautiful baseball field. We're gonna have all these visitors into the city, and bam, right in the middle is our Boys and Girls Club with no roof on it and old faded murals. And do y'all know where I'm talking about? Right there by the forestry building. We need to do something with that eventually. So again, I'm not asking for anything right now. I just want to put it on
We're
the
gonna tear it
radar.
down and give it to them?
Huh?
We're gonna tear it down and then give it to them?
I'd rather give it to them, let them tear it.
Oh, okay.
But I think if the school board did want it, I think they would rehab it. It would be to rehab.
I have a question, Madam Mayor. Is there any plans of reopening the Boys and Girls Club anywhere?
There has been some discussion, but nothing serious. And I mean this super respectful, but in this meeting, just so everybody knows, in this meeting, because we don't take a vote on anything, we don't have to have public comment. So I do try to limit just public interaction. If somebody has some words, I always allow that. But I do, in here, we just try to get through our workshop. But there has been some discussion about a Boys and Girls Club. It just, that would be a third-party organization that would do it, and I haven't, nothing's come to fruition on that.
I had, before this council came aboard, I had discussed that with past council. I thought they had to eliminate that, area. They were telling me that they ran out of funding. They didn't have the funding to keep it up.
You can almost trace down every problem to a matter of funding,
Yeah.
or funding allocations.
Why don't we do that as a package deal?
Well, that's if they're interested in it.
But that's what I mean. To get this, you need to take that with you.
They may want both of them. Just something to put on y'all's radar. I see what you're saying.
We're giving. What you saying? I'm gonna leave it at that.
Any more discussion? Our objective Yes, I get what you're saying. Our objective should be to be a partner in making the city look better. And so when people are investing in areas, I hate for us to be responsible for huge eyesores. That's just where I'm coming
Yeah,
from.
I understand that, I get that.
But that doesn't mean a little negotiation doesn't go along.
Negotiate, negotiate, negotiate.
Any more comments on this? All right, that was my main thing. The agenda is fairly straightforward, y'all have all reviewed it. So we have a pretty heavy budget meeting, that's why I'm trying to push this forward. So Mulaney's prepared our Q2 booklet and document. So Mulaney, I'll turn the floor over to you. Oh, two things I need to mention. The first one is Councilman Roy asked me to let y'all know he couldn't be here because his wife had a medical procedure and he's at home with her. So he asked for y'all's excusing him for not being here, but he's doing the right thing by being there. And the second thing on the agenda, I don't know if y'all caught this, Mulaney has changed her name. And so we're gonna be addressing that. We didn't get a new city clerk. There's not that many Mulaney's out there. But, so just be aware of that tonight. But Mulaney, I'm turning the floor over to you.
Well, we did do the big budget amendments last month, so a lot of the departments are back in line. To start with general fund, revenues are below what we should be at 50% now, halfway through. A lot of that is waiting on grant for the airports we reimbursed, we have submitted the reimbursements. We have slowly started receiving our second quarter franchise fees and recreation, which is summertime when a lot of those sports pick up, football come around. And so we should start seeing general fund revenues get above that 50% coming in very regularly here soon. When it comes to actual departments in general fund, only Department 18 is over that 50% threshold, which is animal control. They have a very, very small budget. It's a total of $260,000 and $132 of it alone is the animal control. So that being almost completed, they're at 59.76 right now. And then when it comes to water and electric, those revenues are below 50%. Same situation as general fund. Once the projects start, like the groundwater tank storage, we'll have that grant money coming in. And we're slowly receiving second quarter disbursements as well. And then the only department that is exceeding that 50% at month 6 is line crew. But they just completed some of their larger projects like the tree trimming and the 6 steel transmission poles. And then all sales tax funds right now, we're at 50% or over 50% of what we budgeted to collect. So as of right now, we are on track to put more than what we had estimated we budgeted. So, but other than that, everybody is under the 50% expense-wise and on track.
All right, are there any questions for Ms. Slack? Yeah, me too. I keep looking up her email, and I'll type the old email. Airport sales are way up. I don't know if y'all caught that, but Molly and that group have been really doing well with their revenue.
Right now, it is below that 50%, but the revenue line item is one that we just amended last month because it was already exceeding what we had budgeted, so.
Any questions? Well, y'all take this and look it over, and you know at any time, we're available to take any questions you might have on that. Next, we have our police report. Chief MacGyver.
You want like the calls for service information or?
Sure.
Okay. Well, We've had 87 arrests for the month of April. Patrol citations 75, step citations 842, 39 hit and run MVA citations. MVA hit and runs 39. Calls for service breakdown, which we have a total of 1,711. Traffic stops, 1,119. Shots fired, 3. Disturbance, assault and battery, 48. Suspicious activity, 117. Theft and burglary, 32. And animal calls, 9.
Did you see that they logoed up the animal control truck? Does anybody notice that?
I did.
Those 9.
Also,
I like
the red
it.
truck as well.
Yeah.
The trash pickup.
Right. So that, ever since we've re-logoed the animal control truck, I see it everywhere. Of course, we have 2, but it's kind of nice to know that when you
That's what
have
it is.
loose dogs or whatever the situation is and you call, you can actually visually see them outside your window. I think that's been a positive thing. Okay. Are there any questions for our deputy chief? All right.
You said 9 animal calls, right?
Mm-hmm.
Last month?
9 animal calls for April.
Next, we have our assistant fire chief, Ronnie Shreen. Where's the chief at?
He's at a conference.
Okay.
Somewhere for this week. Anyhow, report for calls on the month of April were 4 structure calls, fires, 1 vehicle fire, 10 miscellaneous fires, 3 public service, 3 rescue calls, 1 hazmat related call, 10 false alarms, 4 fire alarms for a total of 36 calls. And we're awaiting PIL to schedule our field visit for them to come in. That's all we got.
All right. Okay, are there any questions for the fire chief? Okay, is there anything that y'all have on your mind that you need to discuss during this time?
I do, on the fiber internet construction. I don't know, do we have, when a contractor is about to start boring and running a line, do they communicate with the city at all about here's where we're going, all that? Okay. So when it's in our district, I would like to know that, just because, so we can anticipate the people calling, saying, hey, they didn't give me any notice they were gonna dig in my yard, like on the way up here today, I got that. So I would like to be a little bit more prepared when people reach out, with sort of what the map is, where they're going, and then
And who it is?
Who it is and what they're doing.
who it is, and then a contact. That's what everybody wants, is a contact, with the city and or with AT&T, or whoever the contractor is. And so I think if we just have that, then a lot of the property owners are fine to take care of whatever issue they're having themselves with the contractor.
Just don't know who to contact.
But I'm a bit unprepared to help the people.
What do you think, Tyler?
Yeah, we're gonna start sending out permits to the whole council, like permit approvals, and then we're gonna, like Delta, which used to be CenterPoint's pretty good about notifying, we're gonna try to slide that into our ordinance. They go and leave door hangers to people, and they write the inspector's name on each and every one of them, so that way, if something goes wrong, they know who to call. So we're gonna implement that. That'll be the next thing we implement on our
Okay,
ordinance.
so we will implement that, same, okay.
And we'll require it in the meantime until, we pass it in June. We're gonna try to make a revision in June. So, but we can still require it in the meantime, as our stipulations, but most of it's AT&T right now.
Okay. Well, hopefully AT&T will understand that the better they are to the citizens when they're doing the construction, the more likely those people are to sign up for theirs.
Yeah, we got some pretty good ideas to push to make it. We don't want them just to fix it, we want to fix it right.
Right.
I tell you what, and I've said it before, but I'll say it again, Zach, Tyler, Neil, Kathy Newer, they worked really hard on that ordinance. And you watch and mark my words, in 6 months, as it starts getting out, everybody in the state's gonna copy the city of Minden's ordinance on that underground utilities. We have one of the best ones we've ever heard of. We took a pretty strong one and adapted it to what is going on in Minden, and I think they made it really successful. But you watch, people already asking us for copies of it.
We want the fiber, we want it done right, you know, we gotta protect
Yes,
ourselves in the process.
I can't tell you, and I know y'all have the same experience, how many times a month I get text, who's working on such and such, who's working on this road, and I never know either. And so that feedback loop would be very helpful to us, but that's in the works.
And if you have any issues, we direct them to the permits office, like private issues or whatever, and then that way we'll keep track of it too. Because we'd like to know, you know, how many issues, what's being caused, because if we need to shut somebody down, we will.
Cooley shut one down already.
I don't mean to cut you off, Mr. Miller, but I do have, when the landowner is right, because if you be working on a road and it's on the city side, if they bust a pipe on the landowner side, usually the landowner have to fix it. And see, that's, they should fix it, but they came through and busted my water, but I had to get the problem to come out and fix it, and that cost about $500.
Well, that's terrible.
Have that done, yeah, so that's very important.
We'll make them fix private or public.
I tell you what, they're a lot quicker to fix things if you know who they are.
Yeah, that's true.
When you don't know who they are, it's very difficult.
Yeah.
So all of us being aware of who's working where and who we can contact, that's gonna make life a lot better.
So the area that they're working in now, a lot of people have sprinkler systems, and I'm real worried they're gonna hit their sprinkler system, which I get. When they were in my yard, I worried about the same thing. And it was, after I saw the holes they dug, it was kind of a miracle they didn't hit anything. So,
It's true.
you know, I did have some newfound respect for some of those crews, because I thought they did a really good job in my yard. But
A good crew can really leave no trace. It's really hard to believe that they can.
The more we stay on, the more careful they are.
Well,
The fact that we know who they are holds them extremely accountable.
yeah.
And they could lose their permitting ability in the future if they don't abide by our rules. And
Yes,
that
AT&T's the one that's in town most, and they've been very cooperative. They, you know, they have no reservations to what we ask of them, so. They hit stuff, but they handle their business.
I don't think it's too much to ask that we know who they are.
No.
Yeah, that's right. And, I mean, can we ask them to go ahead, even before we have the ordinance established, they have to hang the door?
Yeah,
Can we just ask them to go ahead and start doing
yeah.
it?
That would really be nice.
It would really be helpful.
So, that's good.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
That's good.
What else y'all have? There's just one thing on the agenda that I thought I would point out, and that is item number 5 is executed agreement with the LOTD for improvements at the Minden Airport. We've got from the state side, you know, most of the grant money at the airport's federal grant. This is a small pool of money from the state level. It's for $7,000. We need authority to receive that grant money for that project. And then also in Molly's minds, our strategy of which projects she's gonna ask for federal funding on. The next project is a perimeter fence, which I think will help us greatly with our liabilities at the airport. So that's on there. Is there any questions about that?
It'll be a two-phase project.
Not on that, but do we have any anticipated start date for construction on the industrial
May 18th.
intersection? May 18th.
May 18th.
How long?
2 weeks from today, I think that.
they say how long they think it'll,
There's like 130 days in the contract, and I figure it'll take probably all of that, so you're looking at 4 months probably. So, and the intersection will always stay open.
really?
Yes.
One way at times, but it'll be, I would say avoid the area, please. Just
Yeah,
But it
go to
won't be
Lowe's
totally
or do what
safe.
you gotta do, but go,
yeah,
you know,
yeah, okay.
We didn't want to close the Loves down.
That's right.
barring anything crazy, the
Local
objective is
traffic,
now.
local traffic needs to go.
Probably needs to find another route.
As of now, it will stay open the whole time.
What about our street projects?
That'll be the next one for bids, I figure.
Only
Next month.
meeting in 2 weeks on that.
Yeah, you talking Shepherd and all that stuff?
Yes.
That'll be coming out soon. We've already got authority, so we can bid as soon as it's designed.
Okay. And then water tank,
It started, 2 weeks ago,
okay.
so that'll be like about
A year.
a year plus project. So, which will be, we got about probably, I would say, $5 to $6 million in projects going on now, so it's pretty busy.
Mhm.
So, then you throw all the fiber stuff in, and it just gets chaotic, so.
Getting our money's worth out of old tea fees.
Maybe you'll get up to, you know, the dollar amounts that the Rex got going on. so.
I don't know, maybe one day.
Yeah.
I will say, just on a personal level, I've been to 2 complexes to play tournaments with my sons over the past month, and one is no turf and was hosting a tournament, much like what we want to host. And the tournament organization was really ready for Minden to get up to where we can host tournaments, because they want to use our fields. And the second one, this past weekend, I went to the YMCA fields over in Shreveport that have just recently been redone or constructed. And they're really proud of those. They did a good job. But as far as how ours would compare to theirs, ours are gonna compare very favorable to those. If you were comparing them to each other, we just have so much more real estate. Everything there is kind of small. It's, you know, as far as the kind of outlying areas, they had some pretty weak offerings as far as concessions and things like that. So, you know, we're gonna stack up really well compared to some of these other complexes.
Very good. That's good news. They announced theirs right after we did ours. So I was keeping an eye on that.
Yeah, it's, we don't have to worry about that.
It's big business though,
It is.
you know, and I think it's gonna be good for the city. It's been already been a strong economic driver for us and opening up a lot of conversations and opportunities. So I'm very excited about what the future holds for the city of Minden. I will tell y'all that Senator Kennedy and Senator Cassidy both put into their wish list for a federal earmark the funds for the new fire department on Shreveport Road. So both of them did. That surprised me pleasantly. And I'm not sure exactly how that works, but that project's about $3.5 million, and the funding request from each of them was roughly $2 million. So I don't know if we get 2 and 2 and 4, or if we get 2 and they're the same 2. I've got to figure that part out. But it's still going forward, and having 2 out of 3 ask for it is pretty good. It's pretty good. So, and I'll take $2 million for any day of the week. That'll go a long way towards our project. I think we could turn around to the state and get the other half.
Has the city of Minden ever gotten a federal
Never.
earmark? Never?
Not since the 1800s. I don't know what they did back then.
Why do you think we're getting one?
Because we asked for it. Truthfully. I mean, we made the ask. And they know who we are. They know that Minden is a place on the rise.